Kingdom 3. Is there better music? Ultima music. Come on, that's what I want. I want some Ultima music. Remix, maybe? Kid. 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 Oh my god, kid. I love you. But make up your mind. What do you want to do, huh? Hi. Hi. You want to come up here? Kira, do you want to come up here? You can't do that. That's just Baldur's Gate. Come on. It's pretty good. Oh wait, hold on. Come on, daytime. Kira, where are you? Kira? Kira? What are you doing? Kira, come here. 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 Hi. 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 Come on, why don't you get on the bed? Come on. Come on, up, 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 up. Up, come on. Come on. Come on, up. No, don't go anywhere. There you go. You want to come over here? Here. 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 Come on. Whoa, boy. Hey. Yeah, up, 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 up. Here, up. Here, come on, up. Up. Thank you. Not in the way up there. Oh no, don't. I don't want you to be in my way. Don't stand on that. Don't stand on that. Here, you want to give me a hug. Okay, I love you too. I love you too. Hi. Hello, lady. Hello, how are you? You're very pretty. Yes, you're very pretty. Yes, I love you. Yes. Yes. You're a good cat. You are a good cat. Don't anybody tell you otherwise. How's my Discord doing? Sorry, here. I apologize. I have to check my messages. Okay. Hi. Kira. Stay time. I gotta go looking for a village. Oh, you're gonna get me killed. Like, your tail's a little bit in my way. Okay, I love you too. Hi. Hi. No, don't mind me, Kira. Kira, you could move a little more, please. Why don't you get on? What do you want? Why don't you get on your bed? Come on, let's get on the bed. Get on your bed, okay? We're all happy that way. You're comfortable, I'm not being blinded by you. Good cat. Good cat. Good cat. Kira. Oh my gosh, Kira. Oh boy. What are you looking for? Looking for a toy? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna get on my shoulder? You wanna get on the top of the chair? Is that what you're doing? Make up your mind. Make up your mind. I love you too. Knock something over. Good job. Kira. Kira, I cannot see. You're taking up a pretty big portion of my screen. Oh. Oh my god, okay, Kira, you gotta get up there. Just... Your bed is right there. You can do that. There's no reason to go down there. So don't go down there. Okay. Hi. Hey, where are you looking at? Are you tired? What are you looking at? I have no choice but to kill them. Kira, don't look at my keyboard. Don't look at my keyboard. I don't want you to look at my keyboard. Don't look at my keyboard. Why would you need to look at my keyboard? Stop looking at my keyboard. It makes me think you're gonna do something to it. You wanna come up here? Like, anything would be better if you just... I can't see what I'm doing, Kira. I don't know how you do that. Okay, maybe I do. No forest. Okay, okay. Oh no, maybe not that way. Maybe, oh no. A lot of lava. A lot of lava. Oh, it's a fox. Okay. Don't walk in front of my monitor, please. Please. God, no, you're getting fucked up when I hit you guys. Why do I move faster underwater? Whatever. Come on, I want to start a kingdom. I want to start. Let me check on something. Okay, that works. Tyler, where the fuck are you? I have no subjects for my kingdom. I have no kingdom, I mean. Just gotta keep looking. Okay, I need the fucking boat now. It's a really cool place though, I like this biome. I wouldn't want to live here, but you know, it's cool. Feels kind of Dark Soulsy. Oh, the snow's in my eyes. Okay. Okay, come on. This epic journey is becoming monotonous very fast. Do I have any more food cooked? No. Okay, cool. I was hoping that would be the case, and it is the case, so we're good to go. Fox, could a fox kill me in real life? I don't know. Probably not. I don't want to get bit by one though. Shit. Huh. Okay, there's a big hole here, which is bad. Wow, look at that. Hold on. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Hold on. I need wood now. Fuck, what is that? No, I need to go back up. I need wood. It's getting dark and I don't like that, but I'm really curious about that. Oh my god, okay. Is there enough coal? Ooh, iron, okay. One. Okay, better than nothing. What is that? Oh, it's a fucking plant. Okay, it's just a plant growing down here. Oh, I need to check on that. It's not what I meant to do. Website! Website! Okay, website, okay. What? is Thursday. Fuck. That's really... God damn it, I don't have more wood, so what am I gonna do here? I need more wood. It's nighttime. I might just have to brave the night, but I don't die. Kira, your timing is like just so fucking bad. I can't. It's nighttime and I could die really easily right now. And you want to come hang out. And you've just decided that this is when we'll hang out. Okay. Don't lay down. Okay, you want to give me a hug? You wanna give me a hug? Is that what you're trying to do? Okay. Come on. Come on. Just let's get this over with. Kira. You gotta pick a spot. Bud. This wandering around thing. No bueno. Here. Why don't you try the bed, yeah? The big bed. Get on my bed. Good jump. But pick a spot though, don't just keep going back and forth. Kira, don't show my phone. Kira, I love you. I like hanging out with you. But sometimes you're a little bit disruptive. So just get in the bed. Come on. Get in your hammock. Hammock. Up. Get in the hammock. Thank you. Kira. Hey. Buddy. I can't see the fucking screen when you're right there. I need some SCP shit now for a little bit. I need a break from that music.
Underneath the SCP-2317
Kira?
entry, Jace discovered what was really going
You're
on.
gonna make me kick you out. I don't want to.
SCP-2317 was, in part,
I
a
kick you
door
out.
to another world, as its nickname suggested. But that wasn't the whole story. Beyond the door lay a barren salt plain, the only structures visible for miles being 7 identical stone pillars, with ancient symbols carved into their surface.
Go play.
Frequently, a small group of Foundation personnel
Go
and
there.
security staff would be sent into SCP-2317, each one of them given a specific role to undertake as they performed 220 Calabasas. That process required for active containment was more like an occult ritual, involving holy water, an obsidian-edged knife, chants that invoked ancient powerful gods, and a chicken to act as a live sacrifice. If
I'm
Jace
sorry.
had just learned those
You were
specifics of
leaving me no
220
choice here.
Calabasas, he wouldn't have realized that
You
the
gotta go
ritual
play
was
with your
actually
siblings.
a phony, even a pretty convincing one.
I'd
at
rather
that.
hang out with you.
Buried beneath the pillars was chained something of unspeakable, unknowable power. It had gone by many names, each invoking a particularly nasty sense of trepidation. The Sire of Tyranny, Kural Irbrav, or simply the Devourer of Worlds. The 220 Calabasas ritual was supposedly a way to keep the beast locked below, to strengthen the 7 chains each latching the ancient monstrosity to the pillars above. Except it didn't. It was a smokescreen. The ritual did nothing to keep the shackles of the Devourer intact. There was but one chain remaining, one more tether keeping the ancient beast caged. And over the years, no matter how many times the Foundation performed 220 Calabasas, it was eroding, getting weaker and weaker. It was inevitable. The Devourer of Worlds would one day be free. And yet, that wasn't even the worst part about what Jace had uncovered. What could possibly be worse than learning an eldritch deity intent on unfurling doom couldn't be contained with the one method the Foundation had? Well, it was that the Foundation knew, and had known for a long time, that 220 Calabasas was nothing more than a charade, with all the effectiveness of a band-aid over a broken leg. As if that wasn't bad enough, Jace had traced the source of this cover-up right to the very top, to the highest operational level within the SCP Foundation's hierarchy. The O5 Council was responsible. They had known for a long time about the ineffectiveness of 220 Calabasas, and yet hadn't pursued any more permanent solutions to the looming threat posed by SCP-2317 and the Devourer. After a sleepless night, Jace could hold it in no longer. He had to tread carefully. Given how far up the chain this conspiracy went, it was hard to know who to trust. Something had to be done, that much was clear to him, whether that involved sealing or outright destroying SCP-2317. But if those tasked with overseeing the entire Foundation were in on this cover-up, then Jace had to be extremely careful about who he went to for help. There was only one person he was certain he could rely on, and share his findings with in secrecy. Senior researcher Ellis had long been a good friend of Jace's. In fact, he'd even go so far as to say Ellis was his only real friend within the Foundation. The more experienced member of personnel had practically mentored Jacoby from his earliest days as an SCP researcher. Ellis had helped him get to grips with certain difficult containment procedures, and even taken the fall for Jace after some of his early mistakes nearly caused a containment breach. Researcher Ellis's seniority meant he only got away with a metaphorical slap on the wrist. But most crucially for Jace right now, Ellis wasn't a high enough rank to be even close to any of the upper echelon Foundation doctors, like Dr. Bright or Dr. Gears. Nor was he senior enough to have any direct dealings with the O5 Council. If there was anyone working at the Foundation that Jace could possibly confide in about his findings regarding the truth behind SCP-2317 and 220 Calabasas, it was Ellis. And maybe, between them, the pair could put their heads together and avert the catastrophe of the Devourer's inevitable escape. Jace was nervously pacing back and forth while Ellis's eyes were glued to the terminal in his quarters. He had shown him a saved copy of the full archive entry on SCP-2317, detailing everything, not just the steps required to perform 220 Calabasas, but the additional information about the ritual not working, and that the O5 Council knew it. After a long, painful wait for researcher Ellis to scan through the entire file, he leaned back from the terminal screen and sighed. Well, this is hardly ideal, he stated matter-of-factly. Hardly ideal? Jace echoed, his fear of what all this meant manifesting itself as a frustrated outburst. I think you might be underestimating it a little there, Ellis. This isn't just some mild inconvenience we've now got to live with. We're talking about the end of the world as we know it, XK class. And on top of that, the Council knows it's coming and are doing nothing about it. Instead, they're making these high-clearance personnel go and pointlessly slaughter chickens and recite meaningless prayers about 7 seals, 7 rings, 7 thrones for the Scarlet King. Jacoby, calm down, Ellis replied sternly. Let's talk about this rationally. For all we know, this file here could be a part of SCP-2317's containment procedures. That's what I'm saying. The procedure is ineffective, he argued. Let me finish, the senior researcher responded calmly. We know of dozens of other anomalies that employ infohazardous or memetic effects, and sometimes it's not uncommon for entities of such nature with capabilities to infect information itself to be combated via the use of deliberate, necessary misinformation. This file might not even be an accurate description of SCP-2317. It could easily be a method for containing something else. No, that doesn't... Jace paused, holding his forehead. Sorry, all of this is giving me a headache. Could I trouble you for some water? Of course, Ellis answered. He got up from his seat and filled a plastic cup from a cooler in his quarters. While his back was turned, Jacoby didn't see Ellis slip something into the water. Thanks, Ellis, Jace said as he gulped down the whole cup. Like I was saying, that theory of it being a memetic threat doesn't make sense. You've seen SCP-2317 from a distance. We both have. It's a physical dimensional gateway. I mean, a door to another world is literally its code name, for God's sake. Why would there be a real door with an intangible info hazard behind it?
I can't
Ellis stroked his
see the
chin,
monitor.
pondering quietly. For a moment, Jace's vision seemed to get a little blurry, but he blinked it away.
Okay, hey.
So if we take everything in the SCP-2317 file as gospel, then answer me this. What do you propose we do about it? His mentor asked. We have to
Give me a
think
fucking break.
radically.
Give me a fucking break.
Together,
Give me a
I
fucking
think
break.
you
Give
and
me a
I
break.
need to come up with an alternate permanent solution to the impending threat posed by SCP-2317.
I can't
Then
see.
we present it
I
to the O5
cannot see.
Council,
I can't
storm
see.
into
I
their
can't
chamber
see.
if necessary, and demand them to implement it. The next 220 Calabasas is scheduled for a few
I'm
hours.
about to kick you out.
We need to bring them something that will actually work, not just that performative pantomime they put on as a smokescreen. Otherwise, Alice... Jace paused for a moment, hearing his own voice crack with despair. If we don't, the Devourer is going to destroy everything. You said the words permanent solution. Elaborate for me, please. Ellis responded. Look, I think we
Kira.
have only two
Kira.
options, the frightened
Kira.
researcher said. Jace noticed he was starting to feel
Kira.
drowsy,
Kira.
lightheaded even,
Get in
needing
the
to
bed.
shake himself to stay upright and conscious. We either find a way to seal SCP-2317, or we destroy the door to another world outright. The 220 Calabasas procedure? Ritual. They take a 1 kiloton nuke
Why were
with
you having
them
a hard
in
time
case of
saying that?
containment failure, right? We detonate one of those inside the dimension, pray that it kills the Devour worlds, then we shut the door and blow
What's
that
going
up
on?
behind us too. Suddenly, Jace's legs gave out underneath him, like they couldn't support his body weight anymore. He landed on the floor with a thud, while Ellis loomed over him with a sympathetic look on his lined face. He drugged me? Jace barely managed to get the question out. I'm sorry, Jacoby, Ellis sighed. Believe me when I say I would have preferred to talk you out of these seditious thoughts. But duty to the Foundation comes first. You understand. The door opened, the heavy clomping of boots against the floor. Jace could barely turn to see the squad of security guards entering the room. They lifted his body up off the ground, getting limper by the second, and began dragging him out by his arms. With all his waning strength, he kicked and thrashed his legs as they trailed beneath him. Being taken away by the guards, Jace yelled for his mentor's help. He kept trying until his voice became slurred, imperceptible sounds, not even words anymore. The world around him started sinking into darkness, as whatever he'd been dosed with took full effect. As Jace was hauled off struggling, not once did Ellis dare to look him in the eye. Jace had no idea how much time had passed, only that he'd been chemically knocked unconscious for most of it. Opening his heavy eyelids, he had no idea where he was. The room around him was in pitch darkness. For a second, he'd wondered if he'd been executed by the Foundation and was currently dead. his consciousness trapped in an endless inky void. Then another concerning thought pushed its way into his head.
What?
Had they thrown him into the Devourer of Worlds prison? It was a cruel, callous move, even for the SCP Foundation, to offer Jace up as a sacrifice for daring to look further into the truth behind SCP-2317. A column of light cut through the dark from somewhere
over
above
there
him,
too.
gleaming
Well,
down
that's
so
good,
bright
though.
that it was hard to look directly at it. The spotlight did little to illuminate the rest of the room. Although squinting
Kira,
in the
what are you
dark,
doing?
the researcher could detect the outlines of several figures sat in a circle facing him. 13 of them, to be exact, with one extra taking their seat. He was just awake enough to remember a crucial detail that explained where he was. There were 13 members of the O5 Council, along with one administrator. "Hello again, Researcher Jacoby," came a voice from one of the seats encircling him. "Tell us,
What
do you
the
know
hell
why
is your issue?
You," Jace stuttered before his fear once again erupted in an explosive outburst. "You all knew about SCP-2317. You had us perform 220 Calabasas time and time again, knowing that it was doing nothing."
Okay. Okay. You win. You're getting kicked out. No, you're getting kicked out. I am sorry. I love you. You're not letting me. So you are getting kicked out. Bye. Bye bye. Bye. Get out. Woo! Ooh, really dark.
To keep the Devourer contained. If that creature gets loose, no, when it does, it will destroy everything and everyone. The Foundation is meant to contain anomalies, not pretend to. We have a duty to every adult child on this planet to protect them from this entity. Do not exposit the Foundation's mandates to us, Jacoby. Another of the council members' voices replied, sounding not in the least bit concerned. If anything, they sounded bored. The SCP Foundation acts in accordance with what the council dictates, not by whatever moral framework you have chosen to impose on this organization. But the Devourer of Worlds is coming, Jace pleaded. You all know as much. I've seen it in the SCP-2317 file. Inevitable. You used that exact word. We are aware of the threat faced by SCP-2317-K, or the Devourer as you called it, a third council member interjected. But rest assured, at the time 220 Calabasas was established to provide an illusion of containment. We calculated it would take several decades for the final chain holding the creature to give way. That time might have already elapsed, the researcher argued. And in the meantime, we have no countermeasures prepared, no strategy, and the rest of the personnel have no idea that this threat is coming. Almost exactly the same wording as last time, one council member said, not addressing the rest directly, but still just audible enough for Jace to detect it. What do you mean last time? Yes, thinking back a few short moments to the beginning of this exchange. Wait, why did you say hello again when I woke up here? There was a horrible, nauseating silence throughout the room for a moment. Jace had already worked out the answer. Why would the council bother telling him the truth now? I've figured this out before, haven't I? He said. A handful of times, one of the voices replied. If not you, then another member of personnel. Every now and then someone snoops, uncovers something they shouldn't, and you make them forget it. Jace finishes their sentence for them. Before we apply the amnestics, the voice said, observe. Today's 220 Calabasas procedure is already underway. A huge curved screen blinked to life. It filled half the circumference of the room, but wasn't enough to give Jace any clearer of a look at the O5 Council. Each one of them was cast as shadowy, silhouetted figures against the images now appearing on the screen. It was footage being streamed live from one of the personnel cleared to enter SCP-2317. They were already in the middle of performing the phony ritual, spritzing holy water over the 7 pillars, unaware that one of them was still linked to a chain keeping the devourer imprisoned below. Suddenly, there was a rumbling, a shaking reverberating through the ground on the video feed like an earthquake, or something moving underneath. Oh my god, Jace breathed as he watched in horror. It's happening!
No,
The devourer's coming now! Get them out of there! Some of the O5s mumbled awkwardly to themselves. We shouldn't act with too much haste. It could just be the creature reacting to the ritual, one hypothesized. It's been imprisoned for a lot longer than a lot of us have lived. It's bound to get restless, another concurred. Besides, the security team are armed with a nuclear device in case the worst should happen. On the screen, the tremors were continuing. The personnel member in charge of applying the holy water dropped the silver aspergillum and asporium containing it, spilling its contents over the salted earth below. Without any further warning, the ground started to crumble in the feed, an enormous clawed hand bursting up from underground. It was followed by the hulking shape of something much larger breaking through the salt plain, sending a tidal wave towards the personnel member whose body cam footage was being displayed. The feed cut out, and the room was dark once again. It's too late. Jace stared at the council in a mix of terror and disgust. You did nothing, and now it's too late! Before any of them could reply, another tremor rang out. This time beneath Jace's own feet, the Devourer of Worlds was here. It was bursting through the wooden door of SCP-2317 and tearing the Foundation facility apart with its immense size as it emerged. The walls cracked, the entire building beginning to crumble around him and the O5 Council, who were all hurriedly exiting the chamber to whatever plans or bunkers they had to ensure their own personal survival. Suddenly, the huge weight of something dropped through the dark and collapsed on top of Jace. Standing up amongst the wreckage of the obliterated building, the Devourer of Worlds drew itself up to its full height. It was an impossibly large creature, humanoid.
Oh, come on, you're fucking kidding me.
Its entire body was covered head to toe in thick, armored scales, with horns atop its jawless head. From one of them hung the final chain, a withered shackle no longer keeping the monster held within its underground prison. The 7 chains had all failed. The ritual, 220 Calabasas, had failed. In fact, it never worked in the first place. Far below, his arms pinned painfully under a heavy slab of concrete, Jace stared up at the towering form of the Devourer. He had felt scared as the building came down around him, and even now, there was a lingering fear of his own death. But there was something else there too, a sense of feeling oddly relieved. Not necessarily to be right about the impending doom, or even pleased to know this ancient trap deity was about to destroy the whole planet. But at least the Devourer of Worlds was honest, he thought. There was no subterfuge, no rituals acting as a smokescreen, no more lies. Just an honest simplicity of a creature whose only goal was to bring an end to everything. As Jace watched, the Devourer raised its hands up, reaching the highest pinnacle of the sky, then brought them straight back down to Earth. It plunged both deep into the skin of the world, deep enough to crack the very surface open. Mantle and magma were spewing everywhere, like blood from the gaping wounds it left in the planet. Jace Jacoby closed his eyes as the ground beneath where he lay trapped ripped open, plummeting him into the dark. Agent Hogan hadn't seen what had grabbed the commander. The sounds of blood-curdling screams had made his eyes instinctively snap shut. Hogan kept both eyes tightly closed, nothing but darkness blotting out his vision even as the desperate, gravelly-voiced yells of the commander filled his ear. An archaeologist enters the temple chamber. It's clear that whatever's inside, the people who kept it did not want it found. But there are no chests full of gold and jewels or ancient artifacts piled in the corners. In fact, the room is completely empty, except for one small statue on a pedestal. Upon closer investigation, it is made of green soapstone.
This isn't exactly where I want to be spawning
at. A seated skeletal figure. It seems harmless, and the archaeologist stares at it until he hears one of his colleagues talking outside. He turns back to answer them before looking back at the statue, which is no longer on its pedestal. The archaeologist panics and calls for someone else to come check this out. but he only manages to get a few words out about the statue's mysterious absence before he starts feeling an odd tightness in his chest. He tries to head for the door, but everything starts going dark. He collapses to the floor, dying instantly. And just as quickly, the mysterious green statue reappears, this time located directly on the chest of the deceased scientist, awaiting its next viewer. SCP-689, also known as the Haunter in the Dark, was first discovered in the early on the chest of 89 deceased green status as the Haunter in the Dark was first discovered in the early 20th century as German explorers searched Indian architectural sites for valuable artifacts. The green soapstone statue, only 30 centimeters in height, isn't particularly light, but it's also not large or heavy enough to cause any problems for those looking to take it. Those who have studied it believe that the skeletal figure, which is seated with its hands clasped over its knees, represents an ancient deity of the underworld. After its discovery, the statue's location was briefly unknown, but it was later obtained by the United States Office of Strategic Services from German hands after the end of the Second World War.
Okay, I have to
That's
kill him.
when its dangerous properties became clear for the first time. While SCP-689 appears to be a standard inert statue, this only holds true if it is being watched by at least one person. When it becomes dangerous is if it is in the presence of a person who watches it, then takes their eyes off the statue. Thankfully, SCP-689's anomalous effects aren't triggered by normal behavior like blinking, but as soon as eye contact is fully broken, like when someone looks away from it completely, the statue will vanish. It will then reappear 15 to 20 seconds later and bring with it a deadly curse. Because each time SCP-689 vanishes, it takes a life. In under 20 seconds, one person who has previously seen SCP-689 and broke eye contact with it will die spontaneously. The cause of death is always some sort of natural cause, but ranges from mundane causes like heart attacks
should
and
stop
strokes
playing over
to
there.
sudden
That's
ruptures
really
of
annoying.
internal organs, including in some cases, every major organ in the body rupturing at once. If only one person has currently viewed SCP-689 and is alive, the statue will cause their death and immediately appear atop their body. But when there is more than one possible target, the statue becomes far more dangerous. This effect only works on humans, but anyone who has ever viewed the statue is vulnerable. It's as if it keeps a list of everyone who has ever seen it and broken eye contact. And when it has that chance, it starts picking people off that list. And it doesn't matter where in the world they are located. The statue has been shown to be able to teleport long distances and appear on the body of someone who might have viewed it years ago. There seems to be no way to predict in what order the statue will claim its victim. However, a disturbing pattern of who the Haunter in the Dark decides is next has emerged. When the statue has choices available to it, it seems to often target a victim who is in a large crowd. That means that in an instant, hundreds of people could see the statue and become future targets. As if every time an eye is taken off the statue, it could teleport and claim another life. This raises the possibility of a horrific chain effect scenario, where the statue could teleport endlessly and rack up a massive body count in mere minutes, which is why the Foundation has become determined that it never be seen again. The cell holding SCP-689 is one of the most secure in the entire SCP Foundation, because unlike other Keter-class objects, it gives very little warning. If it is seen, it can be gone in a second with no way of knowing where it is. And depending on how many possible targets are out there, it could be anywhere in the world. That is why it is currently encased in a large concrete chamber surrounded by high-intensity sodium iodide lights. Each of these lights has a separate power supply, so there is no chance of total power failure. And for those tasked with keeping it safe, it's one of the hardest jobs in the Foundation. 3 people are on duty at SCP-689's cell at all times. 2 D-Class personnel are stationed inside the chamber, and a Level 2 agent is stationed in the control chamber. The D-Class agents have one job: to never take their eyes off the statue.
That's so stupid.
They can
Whatever.
alternate breaks, but the statue must never be allowed to be unobserved for even a second. And because each person who has seen the statue is a security risk, the D-Class agents are equipped with instant kill devices so they can be terminated from afar rather than being potential targets. The Level 2 agent, meanwhile, has a very difficult job. This is one of the most specialized tasks in the entire Foundation, because the agent must be either blind or equipped with a helmet that completely blocks their vision, which they must wear for their entire SCP-689 shift. All control features in the chamber are designed to be operated by someone without the ability to see, and the operator is not to remove their helmet under any circumstances, or they risk termination themselves as a potential security risk and escape vector. But don't worry, even if the statue still manages to escape its chamber, the Foundation has a plan. Just don't tell staff assigned to 689 what it is. In the event of a containment breach or failure of the lights in the statue's chamber, the first priority is to terminate any D-Class or Level 1 observers who may have been exposed to the Haunter in the dark. This is to reduce potential targets, and while higher-level staff will be retained in most cases, this only goes for the first containment
freezing
failure.
here? It's
The
fucking
Foundation
freezing.
will then
Okay.
deploy a retrieval team of blind agents or those wearing vision-blocking headsets. Equipped with echolocation tech, they'll partner with D-Class observers to track down everyone who is known to have viewed the statue. The statue will invariably appear and lead to the death of one of these people, so knowledge of these potential targets is key to containment. Then comes the challenge of returning it to containment. As soon as the statue is located, a perimeter is established with coverings put up to avoid any outside viewers catching a glimpse of it. The D-Class observers enter the perimeter and are transported back to the facility together to ensure it never falls out of sight until it is safely back in its chamber and its containment protocols are put back in place. But what is actually known about this deadly statue? Because of how dangerous and fast-moving the statue is, any attempts to study its properties must be approved by the presiding scientist and are carefully scrutinized. The curiosity to figure out its mysteries is always tempered by the fact that any scientist interested may be subject to summary termination should it breach containment again. Its origins are unknown, but it is thought to be at least several centuries old, and its form is believed to be based on a god of the underworld.
I'm falling
This will
asleep.
explain its
It's
one
hard to
function,
stream when you're falling
ensuring
asleep.
people make a
Ooh!
swift visit to the afterlife. It does not
Nice.
seem to have any direct hostility towards humans or SCP personnel, and has not given any indication that it is sapient or intelligent, but it does seem to want to spread as quickly as possible, and it may be able to sense where its best targets with the greatest potential to spread are located. This
No
has
gold,
led many
though,
to
huh?
compare it
That's
to
too
one of the
bad.
SCP Foundation's most notorious residents. SCP-173 is another statue that poses a grave danger to anyone who looks at it the right
Oh,
way.
okay.
Similar to SCP-689, it is frozen in
cool.
place and requires anyone who enters its containment unit to look directly at it. Any breaking of eye contact can be deadly, and it's more strict in its definition of breaking eye contact than 689 is. Simply taking your eyes off for even a second, even to blink, is enough to seal your fate. But SCP-173 doesn't use supernatural powers to claim its victim. This large concrete statue instead
I
becomes
would
mobile
disagree
and
with you.
extremely violent when eye contact is broken.
I would
killing
say
its
that is
targets by
supernatural.
strangulation or breaking the neck. While this entity has killed many personnel since its containment, it doesn't seem to have the same ability of SCP-689 to teleport to a completely different location, which means it is actually less of a threat than the Haunter in the dark. But the two statues' similar MO of killing when eye contact is broken has led some to speculate a connection, despite one being of modern construction and the other being old, possibly even ancient. But one of these statues poses a potential end-of-the-world scenario, which is why the Foundation is so concerned about SCP-689 breaching containment. SCP-689 might just be among the hardest anomalies to get back in the bottle once it escapes. If it appears far outside containment, in a crowded scene, it now has hundreds of new potential targets. By the time the Foundation tracks it down to its past location, it will have likely teleported again, and there seems to be no limit to how many lives it can claim in a set time. That means that as it racks up more targets and teleports into crowds, it could escalate into a major threat to Earth's entire population. With SCP-689 seeming to be able to kill anything that breaks eye contact with it, there are some in the Foundation who wonder if it should be used against the most notorious captive of the SCP
No.
Foundation, SCP-682. This rage-filled, indestructible, regenerating beast has been a thorn
Just
in
leave
the
him alone.
Foundation's side for years. It has cost countless lives of agents and personnel with its many containment breaches, and so far the Foundation
Does
has
he
been
keep fucking
unable
with
to
it?
terminate it by any conventional means. But SCP-689 isn't exactly what you would call conventional means. It simply triggers an invariably fatal reaction within the body of whoever it targets, which means it could possibly be the only thing that could kill SCP-682 permanently. The risks of pitting these two anomalies against each other are immense though. Not only does any interaction with SCP-682 carry risks of yet another catastrophic containment breach, but moving the volatile SCP-689 puts everyone, not just those in the Foundation, at risk too. The proposed plan involves exposing the two, then immediately turning off the lights. But for this experiment to be pulled off safely, every personnel who has seen SCP-689 must either be terminated or placed in the same containment chamber, giving the statue no choice but to eventually choose SCP-682. To improve the chance of success, the doctors planning this operation have suggested terminating all D-Class personnel in advance to better the odds. Should this experiment ever be approved though, a failure could be truly catastrophic. SCP-682 has already shown itself to be able to come back from things that are seemingly impossible to survive, including having the majority of its body destroyed with only atoms remaining, and yet it was still able to regenerate back.
I'm too tired to
Who's
keep
say it
playing.
couldn't
God, I
survive a
hate
heart
that.
attack or organ rupture too. There is also the risk of 682 gaining the power used against it. The only thing worse than SCP-682 is an SCP-682 that can now teleport around the world to kill anyone who has ever looked at it. But even with these risks, the experiment has not been officially ruled out. Could one of the Foundation's deadliest Keter-class anomalies be the solution to another?